Hi, this is Mike Graham live at SES San Francisco, and with me is our keynote speaker from this morning, Patrick Thomas. Patrick, great job this morning. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you very much. It was great to be here. We really had a good time.
So here's the thing. There are a couple of things that we didn't get time to do because there's so much territory that we could cover here. What's the difference between policy and censorship?
Well, that's a great question. Anytime that you have to remove content, you could argue that on some level you're censoring. So what we try to do is apply a variety of solutions here. Like I mentioned in my talk, for our core web results, we try not to take anything out unless we really absolutely have to. And there are some instances where we do that, like spam, if we get a DMCA request that's valid, certain images having to do with child abuse, things like that. Our other policies, a lot of them are targeted at our search features, so helping people get things they want more quickly, but also not offending them in the process. So that's where we do a lot of our heaviest sort of policy thinking, and we try to keep the index as comprehensive as we can, so we can sort of thread that needle.
So I asked you earlier on the stage and then forgot to actually do the question when we got to the end of the session. Your job. Are you nuts? Why did you take this job? I mean, I have a job where, like I said before, the toughest decision I make is what shoes am I going to wear today, and you're thinking like, what's the globe going to see on Google today? But, in the course of time that you've been there, what do you think the toughest call is that you've had so far?
Yeah, so that's a great question. And for me, I sort of alluded to this in the talk, but it's always hate speech. Hate speech is very difficult to define. I think people have different thresholds for it. And so there are questions about, people treat search engines, I think, very candidly. You'll ask questions to a search engine that you might not even ask to your friends or family. And so we want to reflect that. So questions that are asking about people or groups of people, do we classify some of those that might be potentially offensive as hate speech? It's hard to sort of discern what people's intent is with that. So I struggle with those types of calls the absolute most, where it's about an individual or a group of individuals and it's something about them that could be potentially construed as offensive. Those give me a lot of headaches.
So what about when you get feedback from, general Google users? You have to sit and make that decision, and you might be going, I think this is the right decision, and then sitting there with 100 emails saying it should be the other way around.
Yeah, that happens a lot. These are issues where people feel very strongly, and I think rightly so. I mean, these get right to the core of our society and the way that we think. So it's not surprising, that people will have different opinions. We do the best that we can, kind of per the principles that we talked about during the talk. And we have to be comfortable and respect the fact that there will be a diversity of opinions. I can tell you as well, a lot of people within Google even sometimes disagree with these things, and I've gotten more than a few emails in my inbox of people.
A bit of hate speech from Google, then.
Right, so, and I think that's the great thing about the company is anybody can say, hey, are we sure this is right? Is this what we really want to do? So you just got to kind of roll with it, I think.
And one final thing, because I was kind of fascinated, the way that the conversation was going on stage was great with you and Matt, but I did ask, and I think it's worth asking again, that previously when we would think about Google and search results, it was 10 blue links and it was text pages. Yeah. Then after universal search and then knowledge graph and all of these things. So now when I do a search, you're pulling in all of this information from everywhere. It could be a video, it could be text, it could be a PDF document, it could be anything. And you do actually make different policy decisions on whether I should, with that particular query, should I see a video, should I see a...
Yeah, and that does happen. Anything past our core search results where we're adding additional content, we want to be extra sure about what we push to make sure that it's not offensive to people. We try to keep that level of curation very minimal, so talking about the sort of big three buckets that I mentioned, hate speech, explicit content, and violent content. And past that, we really just want to be as comprehensive as we can. And I think this is going to get even more important because, as we move toward more and more stuff that we can do with the knowledge graph, as people get more information from that, that needs to be comprehensive. So we really have to think about that carefully, and that almost bridges our sort of traditional policy thinking divide between search results and search features. So that's something that will definitely give us some interesting issues, I'm sure, in the future.
So I'll let you go back to work, and you can think for the rest of the day, porn, propaganda, what's it going to be? And I'll think, what am I going to have for lunch? You know, that's it. Patrick, thanks so much.
Thank you very much.